who else was in Home Depot that day? Because those two exorcists weren't actually doing exorcisms.
Right.
What they were doing was distracting. They were the decoy.
Oh.
George Clooney is in the fucking
point.
floorboards of Home
Fuck
Depot right now doing
yeah.
the real heist.
This is an
Exactly,
Ocean's
dude.
11 type situation. This
I
is
would
Lumber
say-
11.
This is Lumber 11.
Welcome back to Show Me Yours with Jackie and Johnny. I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Johnny DeVito.
And thank you so much for joining us again. While I got you here, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, leave a comment, follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, share with your friends, all that cool shit. It doesn't mean shit to you, but it matters to us.
It really does. It really does.
And so we're here. We're joined by someone who wants to have a redemption story, but we'll get to him later.
You'll see him in the I guess it'd be the right-hand side of your screen, but honestly, you're going to have to let us talk for a second.
So today we're talking about The Doors, their debut self-titled album.
Apparently, we were talking about the debut self-titled album. Jackie, I have to apologize because I like to do the homework for this show. It's a lot of fun, right? So if I went back into our text thread, I would have to have gone back a mile to see which one. And so I was under the impression that we weren't doing the
you
good
chose
album.
the most obscure album that you thought we were doing.
People are strange. People are strange, and that was my bad.
But yeah, no, we've recovered. But before we get into that, I guess I'll introduce the bigot beside me. This is
It's a redemption episode, Jackie.
he has to redeem himself. I don't need to redeem anything.
It was a joke.
Welcome back, Peter. We all know Peter.
Peter Grant, everybody, welcome back to the couch.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me
Thanks
back.
for
We love you,
inviting
buddy.
yourself.
Yeah, we love you.
I gotta set it straight. I'm not a racist, Dad. My dad sent me an essay after the last episode we did. And I had to make it very clear that was all. I thought you guys made it pretty fucking clear that it was a stick.
I mean, I thought it was pretty obvious. It was all a joke, but for the record, we were joking. We
Also, it's
yeah,
my
we
dad,
did.
so,
Well, no, but
like-
it's weird when like your friendship and the way that we talk to each other now becomes like something public. So it's not up to everybody else to like, well, we assumed that they're gonna get the joke, right? But at the end of the day, if you come off in a negative light, that we did nothing but just stoke that flame.
Great.
I feel redeemed. Great. I feel redeemed.
Okay,
So
good.
I'm gonna say that like a little bit of that was on us because it's gonna be so much fun to fuck with you and shit like that. But I had no idea that from the other side of the globe, your parents were gonna be disappointed in you for that
in
episode.
Australia, the
Yeah.
racist continent in the world.
If the most racist people on Earth were like, "Whoa, you've gone too far,"
then like
what I was expecting was he did me proud. That's what I like with all the
Yeah.
racism. That's
Yeah.
what.
you
That's
thought, exactly.
Yeah,
You'd
no.
finally have a
well, I
relationship
feel
with your
redeemed.
father.
Let's talk about The Doors.
Yeah, well, before we get to The Doors, so it's going to be a little different than the last episode you were on because this is, you're part of the family. So we're doing a solo cast, but you're sitting in on it. So what we like to do
True.
before we get into the album, we like to talk about stuff in the news. And so what's going on today is that police in Pennsylvania broke up an exorcism in the lumber aisle at Home Depot.
What? This is breaking news? Like this happened this week?
Yeah. This is a recent news story.
Oh, this is cool.
As someone
Yeah.
that works in the trades, and I've been to Home Depot, Rona, Dick's, like all
Sure.
of the lumber yards.
Yep.
Doesn't surprise me.
Right?
You don't think that somebody's gonna do a fucking seance, man? Like the price of lumber so high right now
Right.
that nobody's going to get a 2x4, so you have a
Right.
space to do a fucking seance. Or
Yeah.
sorry, an exorcism?
An exorcism.
Oh, break it down for me,
okay,
Jackie.
so it's the authorities are unclear whether or not this has to do with the storing
Wait,
place
who are
of
the authorities? Do
lumber.
they still have
the
cops in
police.
Pennsylvania?
Apparently so.
Okay,
in
okay.
Yeah.
Dixon City.
Oh, in
Dixon
Dixon
City.
City.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
Pennsylvania
yeah.
police actually, in Philadelphia, they bombed an entire black neighborhood. So, I mean, they've been doing...
Yeah, so they're
So a
they're hard at
top-notch
work.
police force over in
You said it was
Pennsylvania.
in Dixon's?
Dixon City.
Yeah, that's
Dixon
my
City.
favorite cider.
Oh,
well, there you
Dixon-
go.
Oh, shout out to Dixon Cider. Yeah.
Dixon cider. Always
so-
a Dixon cider.
What happened was the police showed up at Home Depot at approximately 3:30 p.m. responding to a call that people were causing a disturbance in Home Depot. And when they arrived, they were met with two men dressed in full black that were performing what they could only assume to be an exorcism.
So wearing all black is different because like you could be like a masked intruder kind of situation doing a robbery, but like were they dressed in black in the sense of like priests?
Two men dressed in black, both
Was there
were
a white collar?
Both
that's what we got to look for.
Both were chanting and moaning and looked like they were trying to do an exorcism. According to the police chief, another police officer that was there said, quote, that it was a type of seance type of thing for the dead. So it was very clear that it was
there was
like
a third person there?
Yeah.
Laying
being
down.
Exorcised?
No.
How can you do
they're doing an exorcism on Home Depot?
No. The exorcism was for, this is why it was in the lumber aisle, it was for the dead trees.
Fucking hippies, man.
Jackie, this is your people. This is your fucking people.
That is your people, Jackie.
You're a vegetarian, dude.
Yeah, but I don't like.
He's not a pussy about it.
I build houses for a living, man. I'm around dead trees all the time. You know what I say? Why is this tree wonky?
Yeah,
I shit on their life more than I regret the fact that they're dead.
Yeah,
if it's not a redwood, I'm not buying.
Sure,
it.
you're a vegetarian. You're not a lumbertarian.
No.
Yeah.
That's a chipmunk, I believe.
You know what? No, this is fucking fascinating here.
I'm not eating trees. I don't care about your
I'm
beliefs.
a fucking lumbertarian.
What the fuck do you guys think the outcome is going to be from a lumber exorcism? Right. So from an exorcism, from the like the religious standpoint, is that there's a demon inside a living host, and you're going to try to get that demon outside of that living host, right?
Yeah, it's not clear. None of the staff at Home Depot have commented on the situation.
Did they have to do an exorcism because they couldn't use sage?
If you smudged it, I feel like if you smudged it, you'd be fine.
Yeah, so I think
guess
that's why
they
the exorcism. If we could get them on the podcast, I'd love to ask
the
them
Dixon
about
City Police Force or the exorcisers.
The exorcists. Yeah, so they weren't charged for the crime. And
breaking and entry, trespassing. I think
I see you.
But yes, there's not a lot of information on this, but Reddit had some things to say, and it's so funny you're here, Peter, because a Reddit user, the best Peter, which I can only assume is you,
Peter,
says,
depends on what he says, or she. Sorry.
Says, yeah, that's why I'm sitting on my couch drinking a beer instead of building the new porch like my wife has been asking me to. It's because I'm saving her from having demons invade our property. You're welcome, woman.
This is the best Peter because I'm sitting on your couch drinking whiskey. So I believe this Peter.
Yeah, exactly.
But what do you think you could do? I don't know. Because I've had this like thought floating around in my head for like the better part of 30 seconds now. Do you think that like a priest collar is like the Hitler mustache of fashion?
It's definitely the Hitler mustache of Catholicism.
Oh, absolutely, right?
Yeah, isn't the Hitler mustache of Catholicism?
Was he Catholic?
This is. I mean, I don't know. I don't do a whole lot of. I don't do a
Isn't fascism its own religion?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is proof.
A higher belief.
This is proof that Peter might not be a racist because he's not as well versed in
Hitler's ideology.
Or maybe he's very well versed. He's like, no, fascism is its own religion.
Dude, religion's not real. It's just a language we speak in a higher belief. I'll stand by that shit.
That's actually pretty brilliant.
So if fascism is your religion, dude, comedy is a fucking religion.
It's mine. I think so.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, there's nothing funnier than breaking into a Home Depot and trying to do an exorcism for trees. Like, that has to be a fucking sketch.
Dude,
like, that doesn't sound like a real thing that happened.
No, exactly.
Right?
I love that the cops came because no one else decided to be like, hey, guy, where Pennsylvania? I can't do their accent. They're fucking weird. But, like, they're like, hey, guys, maybe stop chanting. Like, they just was just like, hey, you know.
There's some weird shit going on in the lumber aisle.
Well, no, I'm going to say this. Okay, so, like, as a youth, I was, I would engage in criminal activity, and I'd actually, like, broken into a few places with the express purpose of stealing a few things. So, in this sense, that if we were all dressed in, like, some weird garb,
robes.
maybe. Rather than taking a theft over 5,000 charge, we go, hey, let's do a couple chants right now, and maybe they'll think we're exercising the lumber aisle.
So if
like
But
that's
then what's the end game?
That's what I'm
The
thinking.
end
No,
game,
that's what I'm
Jackie,
thinking.
is lesser
I'm thinking
charge.
Pennsylvania
Is a
has to
lesser charge.
investigate
Okay.
who else was in Home Depot that day, because those two exorcists weren't actually doing exorcisms.
Right.
What they were doing was distracting. They were the decoy.
Oh.
George Clooney is in the
good
fucking
point.
floorboards of Home
Fuck
Depot right now doing
yeah.
the real heist.
This is an
Exactly,
Ocean's
dude.
11 type situation. This
I
is
would
Lumber
say-
11.
This is Lumber 11.
Name of the episode.
Lumber 11. No, that's what I'd be more interested in. Get the security
Yeah.
cameras up.
Yeah.
Check out those Home Depot buckets, the 5-gallon buckets. They're worth $7, which is fucking ridiculous.
I saw a YouTube
Yeah,
video. You can
yeah.
grow oyster mushrooms out of them. Fantastic. Check that out.
That's
Yeah.
what the other fuckers in Dixon City were doing. They were getting buckets to grow their mushrooms.
To grow the
Absolutely.
oyster mushrooms.
Yeah, sure.
This is all a big.
I swear to
oyster
God, I've
mushroom
done this
con.
3 times now, right? With Justin Nichols, I've predicted shit that I've just said dumb shit with him.
Yeah.
That's actually come to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I hope that Dixon City
Comes out.
Home Depot goes, we had $70,000 worth of shit stolen that day. And we'd be the fucking root cause of that.
Dude,
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
because of us.
The
Yeah.
best thing is that, like, if they're arresting the exorcism that's happening and they don't know that there's a semi parked
Wait,
up to
it-
the loading bay out back and they're just
Right?
wheeling
There's
hilty
like-
tools
there's
out
some
the
But
fucking.
you said
weird
no
shit
arrest. You
going
said no
on
arrest,
with it.
right?
No arrest.
No arrest.
At
Yeah.
that point where they're like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know what
there
I
was
mean?
no
Like, when you-
arrest, but
Exactly.
someone was at rest or some tree.
So,
Well,
well,
yeah, I mean, well,
no arrest, but the lumber remains demonized. So there were really
Did they
no
let them
winners that
finish?
day. No.
So they were chanting when the cops got there, or they'd stopped
From
chanting?
what I understand,
That's a long
it was
chant.
ongoing.
That's a
Well,
long
I think an
chant.
exorcism takes a while.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
also
like an
have
hour
to
and
you
a
also
half.
have to you also have to factor in how many trees that
Yeah, this
all
is
this
like
piece
a
of lumber
full
came
feature.
from.
Right.
So that's
Right?
multiple exorcisms, right? You're gonna be there for a fucking week.
Yeah, if you
Oh
find
yeah,
it-
each piece of lumber is an individual spirit.
Every 7th, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's
yeah.
still a lot of
There's a
lumber.
bundle.
That's still a lot
And
of
it's
lumber.
16 foot, and there's an 8 foot, and and there's
Depending on the side of the
plywood.
tree.
There's like 18 trees in the plywood.
Imagine particle board. Oh, you would have
Yeah,
to
They were
dude.
setting
one
up for
piece
the
of particle board.
day.
You would have to
Yeah.
exercise for a fucking month to
Straight,
get all the
straight,
It's-
24 hours a day. Tag
know-
teaming in a new exorcist.
Have you
Yeah,
found out if
they're-
Home Depot is actually looking into like another department, like an exorcism department, so that they can like
I
really
mean, I guess
yeah,
it's really-
de-demonize everything that's
clearly,
coming
I
into
think
there?
yeah, they were filling in a void. Like
the void is
clearly,
definitely
I wonder
filled.
if it's because of COVID and entertainers are fucking dry and they're just like, you know what? We're gonna
like,
do
let's
performance art. We're gonna do
exercise
It's
them.
a vegan. Let's do a performance art. That's what it is.
Well, yeah, no, there's a long line between like the kind of stage like on the out comedy in the wild and Charles Manson, right? Like there's a far gap between the two of those, right? It doesn't sound like criminal activity to me. But at the same time,
I
you
don't
have
think
to
they
break
technically
in.
did anything illegal.
Well, you
no,
have to
because
break
no,
into a
they
fucking
were
Home
open. This was in like daylight.
This is in the middle of the day.
Yeah, police got
question.
there at 3:30 p.m.
Question:
Yeah.
Who wants to dress in black and go to Home Depot after this?
I think that
I mean, like it's
we
kinda
need to do
hot out.
that,
I don't
yeah.
know if I want to wear all black.
We can listen
and
to the
get some
Doors,
robes.
and that could be our
Jackie,
exercise.
I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
nothing but black clothing, and Home Depot is literally a half a block away from here.
I mean, we
we
can
could bang this
exercise
out within
some
a half an
lumber.
hour.
We could do Dick's
Fuck yeah,
and
we
Home
should
Depot
be
in
doing
one. That's
we should
two
be
lumber yards.
doing this podcast from the Home Depot in
Yo,
the lumber
that's Home
section.
Depot. Don't do
We should be
exorcisms, do
surrounded by
podcasts.
lumber right now.
Should we cut right now?
Imagine
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Imagine if like the next time
Starts
there's
up
just
again at
lumber
Home
around
Depot.
us.
Welcome back to
We're not
Shooting.
even at Home Depot. We just went and bought all the lumber.
Man, that's a lot of money. I don't know if I have that coin.
The
If I have that
inflation
coin.
rate is wild. Lumber's way more fucking
I've
expensive
heard
right
that
now
it's
than it should be.
bottomed out, though. I've heard it's no longer.
It's about to drop.
Oh,
As
yeah,
a
yeah.
carpenter, I can tell you guys.
Oh,
in
good.
BC here, it's about to drop back down. So
Yeah.
if you need decking, or that's with an E, not an I. If you need
decking or dicking.
If you need
If
decking,
you need
call
decking,
Peter.
call
If you
me.
need-
If you need
Yeah.
dicking, call Johnny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
And yeah, call me.
I'll
Call
watch
me.
either one.
That's my girl, Jax. That's my girl. Have you ever watched anybody have sex before?
No, not.
Have you ever been in the same
live.
room while other people are having
I was
sex?
gonna say I've definitely watched people have sex. That's porn, right?
Oh, well, yeah, I've watched. Yeah,
You've
but
watched
I don't.
porn?
Yeah.
But you're a woman.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know.
This is Show Me
and
Yours
it's a
exclusive,
bit of-
ladies and
it's a bit
gentlemen.
of a
Jackie is
shameful
watching
thing.
people get down.
No, I don't think. I'm sure I've been like.
How often
I'm
do you watch porn?
Not often.
Oh,
It's
really?
not really, no. It's not really something that I have watched it before, but it's not really
But you don't
something.
go
I
to
wish
the-
I could
you don't go to
masturbate
the-
like a woman with just like a decency in my imagination.
Yeah.
Like
But
every
you-
time that I come, I have to like throw my phone across the room and just like apologize for what I've
And
done.
not look in a mirror for like an hour.
At least.
Yeah.
Like I'm fucking not looking at you right now, buddy. Like,
yeah.
Eyes glazed over.
in 25 minutes, I'll be good to go again. But
That's when the eyes peer across again.
yeah, I'm like, well, you know what? It wasn't so bad. But
Yeah,
yeah.
porn doesn't really do it for me. It just kind of makes me feel bad for the woman.
Well,
in their
especially with
situation.
Pornhub, everything that they're going through right now.
What
You
well,
guys know
yeah,
about
dude.
Pornhub,
Oh, dude.
right?
What are they
OnlyFans is
going
taking
through?
in about $1 billion a year, and
Well,
Pornhub
I was
is
talking about
taking.
the underage children
Oh, geez.
Oh my god.
that I
God,
don't like. If you've listened to the last podcast,
Yeah.
I'm a fan
For real.
of young children.
Get over it, people. Goddamn, he might not be a racist or a pedophile. We just painted him in a negative light. He's a friend of ours. Come
but,
on.
Yeah.
But Pornhub is under a lot of fire right now. Like they got lawsuits and shit about underage kids
Oh.
and
man.
also leaked sex tapes and like the legal implications of that.
Dude, do you watch
Well-
teen?
Wait,
How
do
the
you
fuck
watch?
did we get to porn from an exorcist?
I mean,
It's gonna-
you,
we're gonna go
you
back to
steered the
porn, yeah.
conversation.
But dude, like,
you
honestly,
somehow conveniently
Oh,
steered it
porn.
into underage porn. This is supposed to be the redemption episode, Peter.
Jesus Christ. Well, no, okay, but now that we're on the topic, though, I have to get back into it because hey, you have an opportunity for redemption right now.
Okay, hit me.
Like when I like to watch the porn in the age that I'm in. So when I was young, like when Pornhub just kind of came around, right? Maybe like I don't know, fucking 18 or something like that. I'm watching teen porn, like teen
Right,
POV
people
and
your
stuff
age,
like
I
that,
see,
for
I
sure.
see, Yeah.
Now, if I was gonna look at like a teen POV or something like that,
It's weird to you?
I don't dig it. No,
Yeah.
I have my little sisters that are like fucking like that age and shit. Have you ever talked to an 18-year-old girl? I don't want to watch her get fucked. Like that's like not really like my
it's a
thing.
bit- yeah.
So like I'm like the porn that I used to avoid before,
Yeah.
just because like they weren't like in my like bracket or category or whatever. I'm kind of like gravitating towards now because that's
But
what's
don't you
attractive
think
to
everyone's
me.
feet look the same?
Well, no, Peter, I don't really jack off to people's feet. I'm more about like dick going in holes.
Right.
Or like or just holes batting up against other holes. You know
Yeah,
what I mean,
right.
right? Like it's a space dock kind of situation,
see,
right?
yeah.
Like you know, if you want like a shuttlecraft to dock with the International Space Station, it's going to be a hole to hole kind of thing,
And then
right?
something's gonna go between them.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm super into it, except for like Requiem for a Dream ass to ass. I don't like that scene, but like if I'd be lying if I said I hadn't watched a couple, you know, it's similar content.
I see. I see.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right,
So what's the
right.
question? Where do I get my redemption?
My question is like, what is like,
You're-
are you still
it's up
watching
to you
teen
to
porn?
redeem
Like, do you
yourself.
still watch like that kind of like younger branded porn?
So I came across porn when I was 12, 13 maybe. Like
At the dump in a fucking milk crate full
No,
of
but-
magazines.
okay, let me
That's how I
segue for a
did it.
second. Let me segue for a second.
Watch that drink.
Okay, I'll watch it. So I was doing this house up in.
Nice.
I'm building this house, renovating
Literal
this house
joke.
and building an extension on it
Yeah.
in North Van. It was built in the 60s. And I'm ripping down drywall to be able to put joists out and extend into the new frame, right? And what comes out of the vent was a porn magazine that was scrunched up and dried out and a pack of Marlboro Lights from the 1960s.
Dude, you're like a fucking perverted archaeologist at this point, like blowing dust off of artifacts.
It's in my truck.
Yeah.
I'll show you this after the... It's in the back of my truck right now.
Can we put it up for a promo pit? Fuck yeah,
There'll
absolutely.
be a photo. There'll be a photo of it. Like right now, look at Jackie's face. There's actually porn there.
That's all the porn you need.
But no. So I only had one encounter with like real life porn because I'm younger. Internet porn was already around when I started jerking off.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. But this is the first hard copy that you found? Like
No, so I had a hard
Oh.
copy that was in like the green belt, which is just like between two houses. There's no house, so it's just like trees and green grass, right?
Green belt, I like
Green
that.
belt.
Yeah.
And there'd be underneath one of the trees, underneath a rock, there was like three like zoo Do you guys have zoo magazines over here?
We had like Playboy, Penthouse, Jugs,
Okay, so
Barely
Zoo must have been
Legal.
an Australian.
No, yeah.
Same thing as like
A lot
Penthouse
of
and
stuff.
Playboy.
Yeah, sure.
So there was a couple of the zoo magazines underneath a rock that one of my buddy's older brothers stashed there, and at like 10, 11, we'd go and we'd look, and like it was a promise that anyone that you could look at it whenever you wanted, but you could never take it.
Good call.
So that's like the only time. But then when I got access to my family's computer because like personal devices wasn't really a thing yet, and that's when porn started becoming a thing. So at 12 or whatever, till now I'm 24. Jackie, to answer your question from the last podcast, I'm 24.
Oh, okay. I'm glad I finally know.
Good. But from 12 to 24, so that's a dozen years. That's a dozen. Almost a baker's dozen because I'm almost 25.
There
right?
you go.
Oh, when's your birthday?
August 20th.
Oh, get out of here.
Shit.
Yeah, this is coming up.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
It's been the same search every night of my life until I met my present girlfriend. She's loved me life, so I don't watch porn anymore. It's been the same search. It's been the same search.
Yeah.
Fat grannies. And that's
Right
a bit.
on.
That's a bit.
I was
Yeah,
going to
that's a
say,
bit.
man.
That's a bit because the real truth is grannies.
Oh.
It's
Of
literally not
course,
even
of
grannies,
course.
but like it's
Yeah.
always been like
You're into older women.
dude. It's when I was
Grannies,
single,
but like MILFs? Like, come on. Like, it's
like
not MILFs.
it has to be over 45.
Get the fuck
Like
out
you
of
have
here.
to look
Okay.
like you've lived a fucking life.
Okay.
Like, and that was like
Stretch marks on the titties, like C-section wounds, bullet wounds,
all of it,
fucking
dude.
everything
Yeah.
I want to
stretch
see.
marks.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
fucking down. Like, it's weird because
Man,
like,
have I got a thigh to show you?
I'm down. Here's a photo. Don't
Yeah.
look at Jackie's face. Here's a photo of Johnny's thigh. No, but like it's not weird because like my girlfriend Alexis, she's amazing and she's younger than me, but like I have an amazing life with her and I love her thoroughly, right? But like in porn, when it comes to porn, I'm just like, show me a fucking woman.
Dude, you're allowed to
Yeah,
like
I
for
don't
porn, like you're
think,
allowed to watch the stuff like the fantasy,
Exactly.
like you're not allowed to not watch it.
I think that's more healthy rather than like if you're in a relationship and like you don't want your partner to watch porn. I think that is unhealthy because you got to like get.
So what do you
gotta
think?
get
What
that
do you think?
shit
So Jackie, let's just say you're dating someone,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got an average sized dick,
Okay.
and he's of white descent,
Okay.
and he finds out that you're watching
Mm-hmm.
massive.
Black.com.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You said
yeah.
it, not me. Just for the viewers.
Yeah.
We'll put a link in the description. It's fantastic content.
It's actually in Johnny's favorites.
Yeah.
Top 5.
But like, imagine if
Yeah.
he caught you watching like 6, like, it doesn't matter the race, but like just massive dicks. and then-
Kink.com,
Yeah.
foot on the back of the neck.
right.
Like, yeah.
So stuff that he isn't. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you like? I would feel like if my missus was watching like dudes with big dicks because I don't have a big dick.
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's what she wants, and I can't give that to her.
I don't think so. I think like what you masturbate to isn't necessarily like the same as what you want in real life.
Yeah, I have some friends of mine that have they're really into like the female friends that I have. The porn that they watch is incredibly more like violent and wild and shit. So like that's been a weird point of conversation because friends of mine that are, you know, wholesome girls for the most part or whatever, do watch some pretty domination like centered porn
I
and
think
stuff like
when
that.
you're watching porn, it's more of a fantasy. I don't think it's what you want to experience in real life.
I disagree for myself. Yeah.
No, necessary. Obviously, it can be, but I don't think it.
That's different for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it means that that's what you want to like happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
I think
per
Alexis is
se.
in for a fucking awakening when she turns 45.
Well, bro, like if that's when you finally start getting hard throughout the entire porn,
I've been taking Viagra since I was 21.
Oh my god.
all of a
But,
sudden I just don't need it anymore.
But yeah, no. Aside from porn, I don't think I've ever watched other people have sex.
Oh, right,
live
that's
in
where how
front,
we got into porn.
have
Yeah,
sex
yeah.
live in
Yeah.
front of me. Definitely though, people
Have you ever walked
watched.
in on someone by accident and then closed the door behind you, like at a party or anything?
I've walked in and closed the door behind me and I'm still in the room. Yeah.
No.
Sorry, I'm in front of you.
I don't
I
think
closed
so,
the door
actually.
behind me.
Yeah. No, I actually don't think I've ever watched people having sex live in front of me. People have definitely seen me having sex though. Oh yeah, well, Johnny and I
Explain.
had a couple times when we were at an old friend of his. He lived in.
Yep.
That was like
friend.
3 half sentences. Finish one of them.
Yeah, no, this is gonna get wild here. Yeah, all
A
right.
friend
go!
an old former friend that will remain nameless. He had this studio apartment where so his bed.
Studio meaning no bedroom.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
there's
So
a
it
couch
was like
and a
his
bedroom.
bed and then like a couch and then the TV. So we'd all be like
His
hanging
couch
out.
pulled out, but I did not.
I love it, Johnny.
Exactly,
I
yeah.
love good way to put a bit in there. I
Yeah.
love it.
And so I don't know, sometimes we'd like sleep over there if we like got too wild that night or whatever. And there were a couple mornings when we're just lying on the pull-out couch in front of his friend who's sleeping in his bed and just like.
But
went
we're
for
thinking
it.
like, you know, I mean, it's been like you up, and it's so fucking ridiculous to think that
that we thought we were getting away with it.
we're like secret agents, like 5 feet away from a man who's like
Having sex in front
fucking
of him.
coked out, still awake, hasn't slept a wink, and then all of a sudden we just start banging like 3 feet away. And I mean,
it happened the first time, and then he was like, yeah, I fucking saw you guys. We're like, oh fuck, that's embarrassing, and then we did it
again.
Yeah.
Wait, you two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant them.
No.
That's
It was
better,
us. Yeah. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
it's whatever.
Yeah,
He's a really nice guy. Like, hopefully one day, like, our friendship will
friends?
rekindle and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, when I
Dude, we
moved-
went through so much, and like it's weird that like that wasn't even like the reason that we're
wasn't
not
what
friends.
broke the friendship?
No, the reason we broke the friendship was just like my attitude. And apparently, I'm just a piece of shit. So.
Yeah, that
it's
happened.
whatever.
That happened a
when
handful
I
of
moved
times.
to Canada, I needed some money like fast, and I worked on the railway for a bit. But I tree planted,
Yeah.
which is like, it's probably those fucking hippie fucks that I tree planted with,
Yeah.
right? But like when you tree plant, it's like 2 guys in a hotel room, and then like there's like 5 rooms, and like the 10 people that tree plant, we all stay in like, and it's not a hotel, it's a motel.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
it's like $20 of what you make in a day goes into the hotel, and like whatever. And I was sharing this room with this guy, and I worked there for like 2 weeks maybe. And you work like 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off.
Yeah.
And after the 4th cycle of that, there was this girl that was into me, and then he was into some other girl. And I left the pub after this girl was hitting on me, and I was just like, I'm going back to the hotel to sleep. And I wake up at 4 a.m. to just hearing like sex.
Yeah.
And I
Fuck
look
yeah.
over, and it's like, you guys know hotel rooms that like when you get a two hotel,
You have 2 double
there's
beds
2
in the
double
same
beds
room. Yep.
with a fucking nightstand between.
Hell yeah.
So I could, if I wanted to, I could reach over. But like, I woke up and I was like, what the fuck? Like after like saying no to this girl, like being like, because I was like 18 and I was just
Yeah.
like, no. Like I don't just fuck around at that point.
Yeah.
But I was just like, no. So I go home, and to wake up to this, I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then I look up, and you know, in every hotel room, there's like that one chair that's like in the corner.
Yeah.
The girl that wanted to hook up with me was sleeping in that chair.
Oh my god.
And so I look over, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
And she's
that's
like, are you
super
ready?
weird.
And I was like, no!
Oh my
That
god.
is awesome.
Waiting there for me to wake up to them fucking so that we could fuck.
Wild.
And I was like, tree planters are fucking crazy.
Oh, that's
my
cool.
God,
They do that
yeah.
every year for 17 years.
Dude, I have a similar. Well, I mean, not tree planting, obviously, because I don't give a fuck about the environment. But what I do give a fuck about is punk rock.
Right.
So I go to Las Vegas and I'm hanging out.
Which is
and
coming up, no?
Dude, I'm going back in
September.
September. Fuck yes. But I'm in Vegas. I'm having a good time and I'm making friends. And I start talking to this girl named Valerie, and I like that song, Amy Winehouse song.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like, Valerie, all that shit. And we hung out by the pool earlier in the day, but then like the festival starts. There's a million bands and club shows and all this stuff and whatever. So I didn't even, it was just one of those situations where I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to see this person again. Right on, that was a cool afternoon that we spent together. So after we're partying and it's in the fucking middle of the night and the club shows are just about to end, and I get a text from my phone saying that there's Valerie, she wants to hang out. And she had a friend, right? So
Well,
I look
you
at
got
my
an iPhone,
phone.
so did it say maybe Valerie up the top?
Yeah, it did. No bullshit. No, I wish. Yeah, exactly.
No, I feel you. I feel you. Yeah.
So what had happened was a friend of mine that I'm there with, we've been partying and we just finished our club show. So it's way late and we're getting back to the hotel. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like these girls are calling. Like we should go. And he has this like, he's so fucked up, but he has this last moment of like, maybe I can rally kind of thing. So we're up in the tower in a Vegas hotel. And I'm like, dude, let's get down to the street. We're going to walk down Fremont Street. We're going to meet them outside of this club and we're going to come back.
Why don't you come on over, Valerie?
Right? I'm going, don't you fuck this up for me. Stay on your feet, right? So we get down to the bottom of, we get into the lobby and you could start to see them fade. And then as soon as like they pump oxygen into those fucking like, into the
dude.
casinos, right?
Yeah,
So as soon as we walk out into the heat of like the August night in Vegas, it's so fucking, everything just like
Turn
starts
to Darth Vader
Yeah.
real
Dude,
quick.
we walked maybe about 10 steps and he looks at me and he hands me whatever in his pocket and he's just going, I don't think I could make it for tonight. And I was like, I looked at what was in my hand and I was like, all right, well, thanks for coming out. So now
What was
I'm,
in your hand?
we don't need to talk about it. I don't think.
What
So-
was in your hand?
It was drugs.
It was
Yeah.
drugs?
So I proceed down Fremont Street to this venue, and I think it was the Star Bar or something like that. It's this like honky tonk kind of like country
Hey,
bar
Jackie,
or
what's
whatever.
a honky-tonk?
A honky
honky tonk.
honky
Honky tonk.
tonk.
It's in every. I love country music.
Yeah.
But it's in
Yeah,
every fucking
it's
country
like
song. What is it?
Like a redneck.
No, it's like
No. What is it, Johnny?
I think it's like a type of a show. It's an event. It's a honky tonk.
It's a honky tonk.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking like a type of person. Like
That's
I'm a
what I thought
honky
when I
tonk
first
woman.
heard it.
Oh, no, no, no.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
fucking,
No,
like, it's
I'm
like
a honky,
Yeah.
but I would like to go to the honky
honky
tonk
tonk.
that
Exactly.
evening. Yes,
I'm a
absolutely.
honky tonk woman. That's a
Yeah,
song.
that you
Yeah,
go
'cause
to
you're a
a
honky
dive
tonk
bar.
type of gal.
Oh, like a
Okay,
country
okay.
dive.
Because you're also a dive bar girl.
Okay.
Yeah, Mississippi Queen or whatever.
Okay.
Anyway,
Dug my keys into the side of his fort. No. Okay.
all right.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
so
This is
I
the
get
second-
to
Carrie
this,
Underwood for anyone
This
that
is
doesn't
the
listen to this.
second podcast we have done together where you started singing Carrie Underwood
Did I sing on the last one?
when I was on your podcast.
Which is what? Can we talk about it on this
We
one?
can talk
Oh,
about
I
it.
gotta redeem myself. Access
talk
credit and feed a grand. Thank you to Bomba Vodka for sponsoring us.
Yeah, actually say it more. If you say it more, it makes it funnier when we bleep it out.
Oh fuck! So long story longer, I make it to the venue, and this girl and her friend that I'd met earlier in the day were kind of they were like excited to see me, and I was like, what?
Was
like,
her name Jolene?
No, that would have been cool. But I get to the venue, and there's a few dudes that are like fully charged, like dyed hair, like a lot more like punker than that, like a lot more punk than I look or whatever, right? I'm just a regular guy.
Randy Myers of the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
Randy on fucking crack. These guys are so they're in a band called the Lower Class Brats. It's all leather and spikes and dyed hair and everything. And these dudes are just talking to these girls outside of their own show. And I'm a fan of this band, right? So I walked up and I recognized them. I was like, Lower Class Brats, hey, what's going on? I didn't have tickets to your show. I was at another show, blah, blah, blah. So we just kind of shot the shit for a second. And they were like, what are you up to? And then these girls were just bummed that they were hanging out with these guys. So Valerie's like, we're leaving. And so when they asked me, like, what am I up to? I'm like, I'm apparently leaving with the girls that you've been see you later. So I cock-blocked the Lower Class Brats at Punk Rock Bowling, which is kind of cool. But then we get back to the thing, and I don't think I said enough about. Oh, okay, so it's fine. I don't want to put her shit out on blast or whatever
Of
like
course.
that. She was a
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool
Of course,
girl.
of course,
But
of
anyway,
course.
so we get up to
Amy Winehouse wrote a song about her.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So we get up to the hotel room, and the friend that was with her was like smashed, right? So I'm lucky that my buddy Nico just like backed out, and because this girl like this nothing was gonna happen on the other
Yeah,
side
yeah.
of in the other double bed in the hotel room that night. So we kind of start fooling around and whatever, and I mean, there's a bunch of drugs involved, so like I mean, it didn't go like too crazy, but it was some fooling around, and we had some fun. And the girl that's in the next bed is just snoring the entire time, like fucking sawing logs. It was
my
hilarious,
God.
right? But
Were you beaten to the rhythm of the snore?
you know the way I do it. It's like no. I'm like a jackhammer. I'm like da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, I mean, if you don't have that much length, you really got to pound away at it quick, right? So so I'm getting after that, and so at the end of the thing,
Johnny DeVito makes me laugh more than anyone in the world.
Oh, thanks.
God damn it, man.
I appreciate
sorry
that.
for snorting on your podcast.
Oh, dude, I appreciate it. Dude, you can snore with me after the show too. So basically, what had happened at the end of the evening, this fucking girl,
Mozzie just came away.
Ears just
we have my roommate in the background.
There's an elf in the room now.
Yeah.
Hang on a
Yeah.
second.
But
Yeah. Hmm?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
yeah,
porn in
yeah.
the fucking van.
Fuck, man.
I know a guy.
I gotta do a set in like 2 hours.
Oh yeah. Are you
Jackie
guys
Show.
releasing your dates? Like, are you guys talking about dates on this podcast?
we
Well, I'm on a
definitely
show
will.
tonight. It's gonna be done by the time you see this.
How was it? The podcast is out now, Jackie. How
went
was the show?
So fucking
It's back
well,
after
man.
8 months.
Standing ovation. They just asked me to stay on. They're like, "Fuck it."
How long did
close
you
out
do?
The night. I did like an hour.
An hour.
It was crazy, man.
And you started at 6:30?
Yeah, I started at 6:30.
That's past my ex-girlfriend's bedtime.
That's pretty
wow.
impressive.
She was 12.
Because she was obviously. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's crazy that like those rules still like carry over.
Did
You
you
know
guys
what
have
I mean?
bedtime?
Like,
Did you have bedtime?
Oh,
No,
fuck yeah.
no. My parents let me do whatever
Dude,
the
can I
fuck
finish my
want.
fucking
That's
story?
why I'm
Finish
like
your
this.
story. Yeah, man, my
yeah.
goddamn.
bro.
Sorry,
Fuck.
sorry.
Anyway,
I was
for the
gonna slow
listener,
down.
Finish your
Jackie's
story,
doing
then
a
we
stand-up
No, that's-
tonight.
then we
my-
gotta
that's
move
my
on
problem.
to
Sorry,
yours. Sorry,
I'm a
sorry.
fan of comedy.
long
Okay.
story longer, we finish, and the girl that's sleeping in the
Snoring
in the bed next to us. I get up and I kiss on the cheek. Thanks so much for the lovely evening, kind of thing. I'm leaving because we're in the same hotel, so I'm just
Wait,
gonna
so
fuck
you just
off up there.
banged.
Yeah, but
and
we're
then
not
kiss her on
cuddling.
cheek.
Yeah, it was like what I mean.
Cool,
my
cool,
friends
cool,
are partying
cool.
four
Yeah,
floors
I
up.
gotta
So.
go. I gotta go. Like,
Yeah.
respectful, but I gotta go. I
Totally.
I see you.
And I'm putting my shoes on, and the girl that's been snoring the whole time just like opens her eyes and is like, "Nice."
Is it fake snores?
I don't
Was it
fucking know,
fake
dude.
snores,
I have no
Johnny?
fucking idea, but it blew my fucking. It fucked with my
Sitting
head.
there with like one eye open, just going.
It fucked with my head. I also had sex in the hallway of the Golden Nugget and like outside of like actual rooms and shit like that. But
Say
that was
one
weird.
more time slower.
I had sex in like in a hotel hallway out in the Golden Nugget, like during that same event or whatever. But it was in a lesser. No, I don't know. We were in a corner and some people come off an elevator and they came around the corner and they're like, Jesus Christ, and they turned around and went back. It was a wild weekend. I've been there a couple
Vegas is
times.
way too close to Utah to be talking about Jesus Christ. That's blasphemy.
Bro, we were talking about Jesus Christ in some very blasphemous senses in that weekend, and I hope that nobody fucking
Premarital
watches it.
sex.
Jesus
Johnny
Yeah.
DeVito, how dare you? Jackie Agnew, how dare you?
Sorry.
I'm like-minded people.
Oh yeah, what
Yeah.
else is on the news,
Okay.
Jackie?
No,
Yeah,
we
thank
need to
you.
move on to the doors.
Fucking rein us in.
Okay.
Wait, so is that the only news story we're getting for this podcast?
Yeah. We've been talking
We're
about it for
running
like
long.
fucking 40 minutes, dude.
So?
We're running
So-
long.
So we
Dude,
got
Rogan goes
to,
for 4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Says
she has
we're
a
not
show.
As I have a fucking
yeah.
show to do.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, some of us have sets to do tonight.
Jackie, tell us about the Doors.
Okay. So the album we were doing is the debut album by The Doors, their self-titled album, released on January 4th, 1967 by Elektra Records. And fun fact, so they teamed up with Billboard magazine to advertise this album, which was the first time any band had done so, to use like a magazine to advertise their album.
And had Billboard been doing the top 100 at that point?
Yeah.
Billboard's been
But
doing it
this
for a
was-
long time. Like, wouldn't they be
But this
promoting
was
artists?
this was the first time that a band had like teamed up with them to advertise an
Oh.
an
Is that
upcoming
insider
album.
trading? Is that Wolf of
Interesting.
Wall Street shit?
I don't know if we're
Yeah,
supposed to
fuck
know
yeah.
this.
But now obviously it's very popular and became very popular afterwards. But it's
And
the first
Billie
time
Eilish
that
is
it
doing
happened.
it right now.
So this is often cited as one of the greatest debut albums of all time, and also just like one of the greatest albums of all time. It's because we love talking about the Rolling Stones 500 greatest albums of all time. It's number 42 on the list.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, and
Solid.
it achieved pretty much instant success in the U.S. It took a little bit longer in the U.K., but as soon as it came out in the U.S., it skyrocketed the charts. And so when this album was released, the band was sort of compared to the Rolling Stones and like Brian Wilson as sort of like this new wave of like rock stars that were like redefining
Rolling
the genre.
Stones with a fucking keyboard.
Well, just in the way that it's like it's rock and roll, but they're bringing in new genres into
Absolutely. Okay,
it.
yeah, totally,
yeah. And so obviously this is like a classic rock album, but it has like a lot of other shit going on
Some
too. There's,
synthy shit
like,
going
there's
on.
a fucking, there's an organ, there's
Yeah.
like a keyboard, there's
Yeah.
and like the drums are like very laid back, like it doesn't like really hit you hard, but you know you listen to it and you're like, obviously this is like rock and roll.
Well, it doesn't hit you hard, but like break on through to the other side. Like with like
Yeah.
when there's like rising action in this
Well, and
in this
his
music. By the
voice,
time that
yeah.
it gets there, like it does hit, but you're
yeah.
the
But it's a way different sound than like
Yep.
classic than what you would think of, like especially at the time.
You said
of
it
what
came
you
out in
think is-
79?
67.
67. I was
Yeah.
backwards and
Not bad.
forwards and
Yeah,
upside
you're
down.
yeah, you're just wrong. Let's just say it that way.
The numbers are the same.
But from 67, like there's a
Yeah.
darknlike this. There's kind of like a there's a like weird
exactly.
tones
It's
to this.
sort
that-
of like
yeah,
getting
yeah.
towards the end of like the
Interesting.
hippie sort of generation there.
This is
the
coming
end
out,
of
and
the
Black Sabbath is
60s.
coming in, and the fucking like the genre, the scope of music is about to change for young
Yeah,
people. I think.
and
yeah.
so the lineup of the
Rock's
Doors.
about to kick off.
totally,
Yeah.
big time.
So obviously Jim Morrison on,
So wait,
on
is
vocals.
the Doors like the gateway drug to rock and roll? Is that what you're saying? Like to-
No,
like
No,
Modern
no,
Blood,
rock
like
and
Doors,
roll.
or like-
no,
like
rock
fucking-
and roll had been.
I think
has,
Mississippi
but they,
blues and shit like that.
Well,
like,
no,
I mean,
no.
if you're
So
really
this
gonna go
was
back
like
to
this
it.
is the time of rock and roll, but they took it like the Doors and the Rolling Stones and like and Brian Wilson with the Beach Boys. They took rock and roll, which already existed, and they added new things to it. So they changed. They turned it into new type of sound that was still rock, but it had different elements.
Kill
to
me
it.
if I'm wrong,
Okay.
but isn't that like I didn't say it right, but like modern day rock isn't just like old school rock. It's got other influences.
Exactly.
So
And
is
this was the start of
wave
that.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
that's what
exactly.
more
Absolutely.
Like
Yeah, so,
combining genres.
Yeah, that's more what I was
yeah.
saying. This album was like the start of that whole.
It was
To the
part of
point
it
where-
was part of a wave. I
Right.
wouldn't
Yeah,
just.
but honestly,
I
to the
wouldn't
point
put
where
it all
music
to
is
this album.
now, right? If you look at rock bands or anybody making music has the opportunity now to take advantage of any other genre and anything that. Yeah, because like, but like it's been done.
Like a
They
trumpet.
might have
like
been the one to
before-
kick the fucking door open for other bands to do
Is that a pun?
Oh, I
Like
didn't
the
mean
doors
to be.
open,
Good
yeah.
job, Johnny. Good
Yeah.
job.
Thanks,
Where's your
man.
beer? Where's your beer?
They're
Keep
around
going.
here somewhere.
Keep going.
Nice,
keep going.
nice, nice.
We'll triple it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll triple
Yeah,
it.
keep going. Keep going.
But But yeah, like, but up to this time, you wouldn't see, even now, you wouldn't see like a rock band with like a guy playing organ. That was like a huge component.
No,
of the
and
sound.
honestly, like the way that the way
yeah.
that he's doing it too, the doodle is
Yeah.
not fucking tough. Like there's nothing
Yeah,
about this like
exactly.
record that really like speaks to me other than like a couple of the hits.
Yeah.
That you're like, oh fuck, like this is the jam, right? Like I don't know if I'm gonna, listen to the deep cuts on this album, enough because of that sound, but
Yeah.
knowing now that it's from 1967 and it might be the first the first
Yeah.
version of it, there's a lot of stuff that I like now that is much harder that I don't listen to like the initial like the first kind of wave or whatever, like Alice Cooper, maybe even like the Misfits and stuff
And
like
I
that.
think, like,
but I'll go back to it because I respect that shit
and
because they're the first ones to do it.
And I think the Doors is it's a whole like trip in itself. If you get into the Doors and go through their discography, it's wild. And because Jim Morrison, went
check
down
out that
these
second
crazy
album like I
paths.
did
Yeah.
when I did my
Yeah,
research.
Strange,
for this.
I mean, Strange Days is a good album for what it is, but it's not what I brought to the table today.
The crazy thing about listening to this album was, like, as someone that was born after the Doors were already the Doors,
Yeah,
right?
of
Like they were
course.
already big and famous, and
Yeah,
my
yeah.
parents loved them, and I grew up knowing them.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to then go back to this album to be like, oh fuck, their first
Right?
album
Just
had the
knocked
best
it out of the
hits.
park,
Like,
yeah.
like most of the Doors songs that I know are on this album.
I would argue probably most people, all of the Doors songs they know are
on this album,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
when I was listening to it earlier today,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, I know this one. I know this one. Oh, this is my favorite Doors song. Like it's just
Yeah.
like they're all on this one record.
And they just had it like right out of the gates, and they
You should have said right out of the Doors.
right out of the Doors.
Come on, Jackie.
yeah,
You got a
yeah.
show tonight. Start warming up now.
Fuck. I'm gonna fucking bomb tonight because of this.
No,
I have
you're
no
not.
confidence now.
No, we're gonna play the Doors the whole drive down.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
be driving. I'm 18 beers in. It's fine.
Fuck. Well, who cares? You dodged a DUI once. Let's play with fire again. Which
Jackie
light my
Agnew was the
fire.
bar back of my DUI.
Okay, you didn't get a DUI once.
Just about. I was 49 and a 50 gets you a DUI.
Speaking from a man that has a DUI, you didn't get a
You have a
fucking
DUI?
Yeah.
Congratulations, my dude.
To
I'm still
also-
trying to get there.
Honestly, dude.
I would say that I might have played a part in you not getting a DUI
I
because
would
you
say-
kept wanting to leave,
I
and I
would
kept
say-
being like, no, like
Yeah,
hang
you
out
needy
more.
fuck.
Well, so I misinterpreted that because when you were saying I should leave, you were saying no, you should stay. But when somebody should stay here, especially like on my birthday celebration, that means
Yeah.
that you're gonna drink more or something, right?
Yeah,
So
I think
that's
I was
true.
at some
assuming
point,
that
what you
were
should have
gonna
probably
keep
done was
drinking.
like taking
in
a
my,
nap.
No, in
I
my
thought
head,
it was
I'm
a
not-
sex thing, so I stayed.
Yeah.
We've
But
been
you should
trying to fuck
stay.
you, dude. We've been trying to fuck you for months now. Like honestly, but
Yeah,
like
wanna
Lex
get
is
in?
cool. Like I
Wanna get
should
in?
Dude,
say
if
your
I get
girl's-
Alexis to sign off on it, will you guys fuck me?
Dude, 100%.
Fuck yeah, let's
Dude,
yeah,
like
let's set
man,
it
a
up right
guy
now.
girl
Yeah,
threesome is so easy. Like, dude,
Jackie's not involved though, Johnny. It's just you and me. It's finally our
she's
time.
gonna be
baby.
in the
It's
corner.
finally our time.
yeah,
The only
I'll just
thing-
I'll be
Yeah,
present.
Jackie's the chick
Yeah.
in the hotel chair. That's
No,
just-
yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
strap her to a fucking chair with like a Clockwork Orange kind of situation where she's
Okay.
forced to
No,
watch.
dude,
Okay,
this is what we
okay.
do. This is what we do. We put the Oculus on Jackie,
Okay.
and then we live feed you fucking me
From the same room.
in the same
Nice.
room. Yes.
As long as she can
Here,
still,
we
as long
be
as she can hear the
I-
macaroni in the pot live, then that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
You know what I
the
mean?
visual and the audio.
Absolutely.
Like live
Right.
audio, so she doesn't have to put beats on.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Beats by Dre, everyone knows, are the best.
Oh, I got a pair of
course.
Beats. I got a pair of Beats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. We're
I'll
sponsored
give
by-
Jackie the Beats while I put the beats on you. Oh
Nice.
man, this
Buddy,
is gonna
that
be
was good. That was
fantastic.
That was good. That was good.
All right, so back to the Doors.
Did you piss?
Yeah, it was awesome.
So the lineup obviously is Jim Morrison on vocals, and then on organ and piano and keyboard, bass, and marxophone
Jesus Christ.
is Ray Manzarek. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Manzarek.
Manzarek.
Cool.
But anyways, he's the guy. I remember the other night. I forget what we were watching, but I was like, "Oh, he looks like the keyboardist on the Doors," and he has like these big old
I
glasses
vaguely remember
and
that.
kind of long hair.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think he's also like kind of an underrated genius of this band because he makes so much of the sound. But then on guitar we have Robbie Krieger, and then John Densmore.
Shout out to Vancouver skateboarding legend Ronnie Krieger.
Well, there you go.
Anyway,
And on drums, John Densmore. Fun fact about John Densmore.
I don't know if Ronnie Krieger's from Vancouver.
So after Jim Morrison died in 1971, John Densmore, the drummer, was the the band member who kind of vetoed all of these attempts by the other two surviving Doors members to like license the rights of songs to commercials and to use the Doors logo and names for various things. They wanted to like, you know, cash out after Jim Morrison died, and he was like, fuck that, because Jim Morrison was notoriously against using their songs and their name and logo for
I feel like I've
reasons.
seen their music and so no.
Well, so in 1968, Buick wanted to use "Light My Fire" in a commercial.
Sure, yeah.
And Morrison was in London at the time, and the other band members couldn't reach him, so they signed off on it. And Morrison found out before the commercials aired, and he called Buick and threatened to personally smash a Buick with a sledgehammer on live TV if they aired the commercials. And so they didn't. And so no, the Doors music is not used for
Would
No
that not be
shit.
better
purposes.
publicity for Buick?
Dude, if I was
At
Buick,
the
I'd say
time,
fucking
yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Right? But
In a
yeah,
couple years,
so-
like, because they only picked like the best, like they had Tiger Woods for a long time, like right
Right.
before Tiger's shit
I mean,
blew up
maybe-
or whatever. Like Buick notoriously picks bad
who knows?
people to endorse
Yeah.
their product.
Google,
But this
Google
was-
what Buick's current sponsor is, like who their face is right now.
Buick's face of Buick.
Because he's about to be canceled in
I know,
2
like,
months.
yeah, it's coming up. For whoever this is like
I don't know. You can't cancel Tiger Woods. He just won a fucking major. Like, come on.
I
Face
know,
of
dude.
Buick.
Tiger Woods, man. Speak about someone breaking stereotypes, because I'm not fucking racist. For someone,
Keep talking about it.
what's that?
You mentioned a lot.
God, fucking damn. No, I redeemed myself.
Yeah, what's up
Everyone
with Tiger,
knows
though?
First 5. Well, to break into a predominantly fucking like white rich man game
Absolutely.
and do what he did as a black man. Fucking respect.
There's a lot of dudes out there too. Like, I mean, the golf, like the scope of like professional golf or whatever is like there's a lot more color into it now. But even like Vijay Singh, and there's a lot of like dudes that like
Who's
never,
the-
nobody's ever gonna get to the level that Tiger did, because like it's insane. My brother's big into golf and shit, so I kind of know a little bit about it. But when he talked, Phil Mickelson just won another championship. There's a lot of great golfers that are like in the mix of shit that are almost like Clyde Drexler, Patrick Ewing in the NBA that never got a championship because Michael Jordan was playing at the time.
Exactly,
You know what I
dude.
mean, right?
Yeah, like the
he was
Shark
that
from
dominant.
Australia,
You know, he
the
was
Shark,
that dominant.
He was like fucking great right before Tiger. The same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like the top 50 golfers in the world, like over a year, they might have like 5 shots
Yeah.
between number 1 and number 50. Like to
Yep.
be in the top fucking 50 of golf.
To win back to back is unheard of. To win, you know what I mean? Like,
Dude,
I mean, his career.
It's
is
like Roger
insane.
Federer is great, right? In tennis,
Sure.
Roger Federer is great, but like Tiger beats him surely. I'd like the you know what I mean? As goats of sport.
There's like the most winningest athlete over a period of time.
winningest?
Yeah, that's a phrase.
Is that a word, Jackie?
Sure.
Yeah.
Most winningest?
Most. Yeah, sure.
Look it up. I've heard it somewhere. So anyway, I'm gonna repeat it. But the if you can be that dominant at the highest level of your game for an extended period of time, to say that he won his first major in whatever year and his last major just recently, I don't know if anybody has that life. But
Span.
that also speaks to the game of golf too, that you could potentially do it
Well, it's like
for a longer
baseball,
time.
like the fat fucking pitchers.
Yeah, but even Babe Ruth for like the like if you look at
Wasn't that
at the
Colin
record
Coke?
books, well, if you look at the record books of baseball, Babe Ruth's numbers are astronomical and shit. But that's because he was playing like black people weren't allowed to compete. If you had Jackie Robinson in the fucking league when Babe Ruth was there, just struck his fat ass out because he's smoking cigars on a fucking plate and shit. You know what I mean,
Yeah, I
right? So
see, I see.
as the sport evolves, now you have like Nyjah Houston
So what
in
you're saying
skateboarding is
that,
fucking
like,
insane.
On my podcast, Access Granted with Peter Grant, we do a podcast. We do a PSA on every podcast. So you're saying sports are better that black people are in it?
I think that it's undeniable the contribution that black people have given to sports, and I will also say music as well, because yeah, every fucking thing that they've ever done, white people are just trying to like, either steal or manipulate or
100%,
make
dude.
their own name
That's
from
why
and shit
racism
like that.
doesn't fucking make sense to me. That like racism is a belief that one race is superior to another, and white people fucking most of the time are the
We
the
just
propellers
steal-
in that.
steal-
Dude, I'm a
shit
white
from
kid from
everyone
Western
else,
Canada.
yeah.
My entire everything that I know is like 1970s like street kid culture, and that is punk rock and hip hop.
Yeah,
100%.
Right.
Dude, but, like,
Everything that like I have that I love spawns from those
people
two things.
are not good at like There's a black person, an Asian person, an indigenous person.
We don't really innovate anything.
Dude, the earliest days of punk rock to this day, find me a better hardcore band than Bad Brains. And that's a fucking group of black guys that fucking did punk faster and better than any fucking buddy else. Yeah, and the reason
Dude,
that the
next podcast has to be that album.
The reason that the Beastie Boys are the Beastie Boys is because Bad Brains, BB, right? So we'll get we might do band in DC. Yeah, we'll do Bad Brains next episode.
Sure.
For sure.
Fuck yeah.
Well, let's get back to
the Doors.
To the Doors. So I couldn't find anyone for who's the face of Buick right now.
Yeah, because it got cancelled.
Yeah, but
Buick is like, we got a bad run, guys. Maybe let's not.
So
let's just be Buick for a minute.
Before we get into the question, so basically just some background of my experience with the Doors and why I brought in this album.
Yeah.
So basically, the Oliver Stone film, The Doors, it came out in 91, which was before I was born, but my dad had the DVD, and I remember watching it when I was like really young. I don't know how old I would have been, but I would have been pretty young because I remember watching it in the house we lived in before we bought the house we're in now. And for whatever reason, it just like I was just like mesmerized by it. I don't know. Have you seen the movie?
I think Oliver Stone is an amazing.
I've seen Jim Morrison with his shirt off, so like I mean I've been mesmerized too. Like fuck yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, fuck this
Dude,
movie
both
is
of us are just like
crazy.
in on this because like I like Oliver Stone and you like Jim Morrison.
There you go.
There we go.
Well, this movie is fucking insane. And I was just like so drawn to it. And as a kid, I was always kind of drawn to like these musicians like Jim Morrison or Janis Joplin that were kind of like in their own realm.
Yeah,
and it was just like
100%.
Yeah, and I was just like so I don't know, and I didn't obviously understand probably like 85% of what was going on in this film, but I was hooked. And I think like that is why like I still am like so into like classic rock and like stuff from like the 60s is because like that era is just like I don't know, it just always like felt like comfortable and like interesting to me, and I just made me feel like at home, like all these people that were kind of like tuned into like a different like astral plane.
I never put Jim
on
that Jim Morrison
but
or like
Jim
the Doors
Morrison,
into that thing, but like Janis Joplin, Bob Dylan, you know what I mean? Like the music from the 60s is kind of like
and Jim
it I don't want to say kick the door open again. It's paving the path for the generations to come or whatever.
Well,
so everything that that I like or whatever was kind of like inspired by the rabble rousers, you know what I mean, of the 60s. And I didn't know that the Doors were around that long.
Jim Morrison is notorious for his drug use and particularly his psychedelic use. He was way into acid. And I think, I don't know, it always kind of bothers me, like this portrayal of like people like in the hippie generation or even like still to this day, this portrayal of people who are kind of just like whacked out on drugs or just like these weirdos like floating around like spewing nonsense, where I like think there's like validity to like these crazy thoughts, because
like those journeys will take a person to like
and all of like the greatest like spiritual teachers, like so many of them, their minds were opened to this different
the Buddha was like
realm.
A 17-year-old kid that went and did shrooms for 5 years and came back and was the Buddha.
Exactly.
For
like
real?
Dude,
when Jesus Christ walked this planet, there was fucking
allegedly
no, actually, there's evidence that shows, because back then there was no last names, right? Surnames didn't exist.
But there were like there was like a census or whatever that you can see that he
was
was there. Okay,
the census that he came to Nazareth for, like Jesus of Nazareth.
I have no fucking idea.
Here's some religion facts.
But whatever.
Census?
Do you know? No, that's what like.
Dude,
Christians
I don't sign
made
the
up.
census now, so like when
you die, no one's gonna know.
No,
that you
fuck
existed.
that, dude. When people recognize me for being the prophet Muhammad that I am, as soon as like I die and shit like that, there's never gonna be a census signed because I never did, right? And that's the reason that because a lot of censuses are bullshit. So I feel
Rome
like maybe
never acknowledged Jesus' existence. That's why they killed him, right?
Right.
That's like, the Bible.
Well, I mean, I grew up in Roman Catholicism. You'd think that they would have his back.
Right, no, but they didn't until after, and then there's a new emperor that came in, and that was just like at like 70
The
AD.
Emperor's New Groove?
Yeah, dude, David Spade.
Yeah.
David Spade's the reason Jesus is alive.
Yeah.
But no, 70 years after the death of Jesus is when the Romans decided to make it not illegal to listen to the teachings of Jesus. Jesus was a Messiah, but being that he died meant he wasn't a Messiah. But then 70 years later, he becomes a Messiah.
Right.
They go
70
back.
years later, who were they listening to before that? Like Tupac?
Yeah, exactly.
my
He
God.
rose from the dead from
But
now
like,
on back.
but yeah, like all of these great like spiritual teachers, they all, not all, but the vast majority, their minds were opened up to this new realm through psychedelic experiences. And like, I don't, we all have experience with psychedelics, and so it just opens
never
your
touched a
mind
drug.
into like, sorry, yeah, you only touched
Fucking
kids.
touched enough for.
How? I was doing 45 minutes. I was doing so well. I talk about drugs, and now I'm a pedophile.
Well, no, because now
Jackie
this is the
Agnew.
difference, Peter. This is the difference. Is that last time when we brought that up, you were just like, yeah. Now, let the record show
But
that
I
all those
brought it up talking about drugs.
all of those kids.
Jackie somehow weaved the fact that I'm a pedophile back into me doing not ever touching a drug.
Honestly, it's light work.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, we don't really have to stretch too far.
You make it pretty easy.
Hey, leave a comment in underneath here.
If Peter
I'm a
touched you when you were
pedophile.
underage,
Dude.
We're rounding up. We're rounding
Wait,
up.
how much longer we got? Can I tell like a little story about Spotlight?
Sure. We got some.
I mean,
we
yeah,
got,
got like I'd say 20 minutes.
We got some time.
Sure.
You know the movie
yeah.
Spotlight about like the Catholic Church
Yeah,
touching kids and shit?
yeah.
No, sounds great.
You don't know Spotlight?
Yeah, it's about like the
It's about in Boston,
newspaper
yeah.
that like blew the story wide open.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Anyways,
How old?
Mark Ruffalo's in it. Great. It's pretty recent.
Oh, shout out to
2015, it won the best
yeah.
Oscar.
Yeah.
For, Best Picture Oscar. But at the
It won
end,
the
in the
best Oscar.
credits, it shows like the diocese that they've caught
Mm-hmm.
pedophile priests.
They posted the names in the credits
Not
before
the names,
at
but like the diocese.
Archdiocese fucking
Oh,
Jeff.
fuck.
Or,
Have
No,
you
no, no.
watched that docu-series, The Keepers?
No.
Oh, fuck. It's about like this.
you guys are really into pedophile stuff, huh?
Well, dude, this
Well,
is the
it's
thing. At
about,
the end
like,
of
the
Spotlight,
church.
the credits come
I was
through,
never
and my
baptized, like,
fucking
I'm from-
diocese
Well, I
comes
wasn't either.
up that I was an altar boy at, and I was just like, hang on a second.
no.
The
Get
priest,
out.
the priest used to make us dress him in his robes, and I was like, I was a fat, ugly kid. Imagine the good-looking fucking altar boy that I was with. What the fuck
Oh,
happened
did that
to
make you
him?
feel a little
I
bit
don't know.
bad about yourself?
I did the time.
I like a big
fucking-
booty, a little more cushion back there. I mean, what's this guy's problem?
I don't know. He
Right,
likes-
you got to stop fat shaming children. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But dude, and then I did like the time thing of like I had Father Peter. He was not me, but Father Peter was at like the priest of my archdiocese for a long time, and then he retired. And then we had like this fucking. I remember like every 8 months a new priest would be in, and then I did the spotlight check of like who was there when I was there and all this shit, and I was like, holy fuck! I think my priest touched my friends.
Oh my god.
Jesus
That's fucking
Christ, man,
wild.
did
Hey,
have
what's
you-
the blasphemy?
Well, fuck, I apologize,
Yeah.
man. Jesus Christ. Like I said, I never
But dude-
baptized. But have you reached out to any of these people? Have any of them come forward?
Dude, they were
Obviously, it's not something
I
you
was
want to
an
like
altar
go out
boy
and
because
And advertise, but that's
I wanted
fucking
to get out of
crazy,
school. I could
dude.
get out of school for like 3 hours every Thursday if I was an altar boy.
yeah, smoke cigarettes, and
The
get laid,
o-
right?
The other altar boys love
They were
Jesus
getting
Christ. So they were the ones that were getting the fucking old father in the asshole.
Really?
I think so. I would like to go back to Australia to talk to them about
Is there
That's
any priest
wild.
that was into like getting his butthole? Like, is there any priest that's like, no, you
wonder
hit
what
me
their
from the back, or
kinks
or
were.
a priest?
Dude, imagine a 7-year-old
that's
hitting
gross.
a priest from
I
behind.
don't want to go.
I was
yeah.
gonna say, what if they were like, no, I demand to be the bottom, and they were just like,
How are you
this
gonna get a
fucking-
12-year-old
Yeah,
kid
yeah,
to
yeah.
pump fucking? Nah, that's not cool, man. I don't know if I even want to.
Yeah,
think
every
about it.
priest
I
is
don't
a
think
top.
any of this is cool.
Every
yeah.
priest is a top.
It's only cool if you're
Another
the top.
episode.
Yeah,
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 that's a
yeah.
title for the episode.
But
Jesus,
that's
it's
fucking
gross.
wild.
But I'm not a pedophile.
Um,
Maybe that's why you guys think I'm a pedophile, because I was a victim. Maybe my trauma blocked it out. Maybe I was victimized.
Or you're just a
Well,
friend of
How do
ours
you
that
feel
can.
now,
maybe-
Johnny?
No, I think you're
How
just
do you
a.
feel now?
I think you're just a
think
friend of ours
it's
that can take
all-
a fucking joke.
Yeah. Or until like
Yeah,
the
probably-
kids
probably
coming
the latter,
forward.
probably
with
the
their
latter.
I
stories.
think that's the case.
Jackie, tell us about the doors.
Yeah. So
Dude, I'm fucking up this solo podcast.
no, it's all good, man.
Honestly, the reason that you're here is because it's so fucking hot in my apartment that we
It is
can't do
so
it in our
hot.
normal space where we do two
No,
of us. So.
this is all a fever dream to me at this point. But okay, so
It's
let's get to
38
the.
degrees in Vancouver today.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. So okay, let's get to the questions. So Jim Morrison, he famously referred to himself as the Lizard King. It was like a
So many
an
drugs.
acid. Yeah,
So
it
many
was an
drugs.
acid
Shout out to
trip
another
thing.
skateboarder, Lizard King from Death Wish Skateboards.
What about the
Fantastic.
Lizard?
I guarantee you, he got that name from Jim Morrison.
I really
that
hope he
was,
did.
I guarantee you, that
Do you
was
guys
like
know
one
what
of
he
my
called
favorite-
himself.
do you guys
It
know
was like
King
his,
Gizzard?
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizards?
Yeah, fuck
absolutely.
yeah.
That's a reference?
probably.
I hope
Is that
so.
one of your questions? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's
Okay,
not.
great,
but
great,
probably this was like his. It was like his alter ego. It was like a poem that he had written that was like lyrics in a song that's I am the Lizard King, I can do anything.
So
and it's like a big part of the Doors
Oh, that's
movie
pretty
too.
cool.
He's like tripping in the desert and he's like, I am the Lizard King.
Because the only thing I know
And
about
that's, like,
Jim
what
Morrison
his-
is in the desert when he's telling
Yeah.
Wayne Campbell to start, to start Wayne Stock.
Right.
You know what I mean, right? If you book
Yes,
them,
of
they will
course,
come.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
But
Probably his
yeah,
most
that was
famous
like
role.
I mean like when and at their peak too, and he had so many like fanatics about him, and they he was the Lizard King, and it was like this wild like trippy kind of alternative universe that they were living in.
What a time to be alive.
But
I wish.
Yeah.
but nowadays we hear a lot of talk about lizard people. And so this is basically
Okay.
an objectively hilarious conspiracy theory
Okay. Oh wait. For
that shape-shifting reptilian aliens control Earth by taking a human form and
Is this the Anunnaki?
gaining political power to then like manipulate society. And so I don't know. Do you guys what are your thoughts on lizard people? Yes, Peter.
my first thought is Jim Morrison was not a chance the first lizard that was here.
Right.
They've been around since the Queen Elizabeth was born.
Queen Elizabeth.
Exactly. She's a lizard.
Normally, I don't do those,
The entire royal family are all lizards. You want to talk about lizards? You brought the right guest on for this solo episode with no guest. Jim Morrison, I think he, dude, drugs are great. Like, not everyone should do drugs, and like
Yeah,
everyone should do the
agreed.
drugs
Sure.
that work for them.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes,
Absolutely.
agreed. Yeah.
But like the fact that Jim Morrison was the right person to do the right drugs to be able to reference himself as a lizard king. Like if anyone's into Marvel at all, listeners or you two, there's a lot of shit that's in there that's like, it's almost biblical in the sense of like, it's like acid Bible. Marvel Comics is the acid equivalent of Bible.
It's an
concepts and
expansive universe that they can really open you up to basically any like form of storytelling, and within that comes like I think like mirror images of messiahs and things that are greater than life and
100%.
stuff for sure.
And
yeah.
I would like someone to disprove the thought that us Homo sapiens of present day weren't genetically modified like we're doing to fucking chimpanzees today.
Well,
Right.
that's the breakoff theory of human civilization. There was one theory that basically, let's say, an advanced life form was either started on this planet and took off a long time ago, or we were kind of
Cross-mutated
we
with
were
them.
cross mutated and messed with from another.
So we're all
From another
Charles
species.
Xavier.
No, none of Charles. We all wish that we were, but I don't think that any of us have that kind of capability. But the
Greta
problem is
Thunberg.
that we're all plagued with consciousness.
Yeah.
And especially in the Western world, is that like we're one day away from being millionaires, every single one of us or whatever. So the dream, you know what I mean, is so much bigger there. We have and we're comfortable enough to dream fantasy and stuff like that. So where I think that. It's a fascinating story, and I mean it's not Bigfoot or aliens for me, because those are the ones that really get me hard. But with the Anunnaki, the lizard people, and things like that, I don't think I would go as far as, if I'm a conspiracy theorist or whatever, then maybe Jim Morrison might be the person that caught wind of this knowledge, said he was a lizard king or whatever, and the reason why he had an untimely death when he was young is because he was not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A member of that. Yeah, because like if you're gonna
It's a
live on,
JFK all over
if you're gonna
again.
live in conspiracy realm, then you need to understand that the person that was leaking some of this information to the public or whatever is gonna get now like Julian Assange. Like you can't just go and fucking whack him
Imagine if
because
I
it's
just
Western
walked
America.
around saying that I was Johnny DeVito.
I mean, you would
People would be pissed.
You'd be dripping in bitches, dude. It'd be crazy.
It would be amazing for me.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It'd be
No, but
you'd be dripping in something.
I
That's-
100% agree that like doing specific drugs for specific people will access different planes of fucking reality. And
Totally.
100%.
Newton said it, that every action has an equal opposite reaction. So the fact that we're going
Wasn't that
forward-
Weird Al?
Sure. I'm sure it was one of his lyrics. But the fact that our temporal universe goes forward in time, right? His law of physics says that there's also an equal opposite universe going backwards in time, working towards the Big Bang. right?
Could you imagine that, like, in the other universe where, like, the 12-year-old me had lived the fucking entire, like, had all the knowledge of, like, an older me and shit
Of an
like that?
80-year-old Jonny.
Wild.
But then also,
Yeah.
dude, in
Could you imagine going
that,
through puberty after 80 years of living? Like, or, like, it'd be reverse puberty?
horrific.
I don't know.
Yeah, you have to go
Yeah.
back into
You'd be
Benjamin
bored
Button.
and shit
Yeah,
like that, yeah.
that'd
But
be
then
weird
also,
as hell.
if there's one line that goes that way,
Yeah.
we live in a three-dimensional world, right? We don't
Right.
understand a 4th to 12th to 28th dimensions. That means there's like up to 28 other parts of that.
Why not 32? Is there 28? What's the significance of 28?
There's 28 known dimensions.
Word?
Read a book. Yeah, there's 28.
Give me a book. I'd love to
Yeah.
read it.
I'll
I like
send
to.
you
I
a link.
enjoy
I'll send you a
reading.
link. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like Kurt Vonnegut?
It's fuck, can't remember the cunt's name. But 28 confirmed dimensions. Like 4th being time, and like that's like for us.
Gotcha,
We don't understand how to pass through time.
Yeah.
But like a tree, like some a being of a 4th dimension can see a tree. Like it can, the way that I move my hand this way, it can move that tree from seedling to tree.
Oh,
to
Jackie,
oak.
do you remember Sirens of Titans or the Tralfamadorians? I didn't. I was just saying Kurt Vonnegut for fun or whatever, but it kind of like it links into this thing. And these higher beings, there's no emotion or there's anything that you can express to a human being that's distraught, coming from whatever tragedy that they've just experienced, because these Tralfamadorians or whatever have their being, just in the way that they're constructed and they can understand all these dimensions, is that everything that's about to happen has already happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's
'Cause-
nothing that,
'cause
like,
time,
it just
we
kind of
think time
is,
is
right?
linear.
Yeah, so like
Yeah,
But look at a
it
black
blocks
hole,
out every
dude.
kind of like
Exactly.
emotion or
Look at a
whatever
black
from a
hole.
being that would experience consciousness on that level could never experience human empathy because
Here's
the
one for you.
lifespan is like that's the nature of the
nothing.
beast, right?
Right.
Here's the thing for you. There was a paper that got published 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago, about lettuce's consciousness. I cannot remember the author, so you just look up lettuce consciousness. But it explains that lettuce, like as far as consciousness goes, lettuce understands that it's lettuce.
Iceberg or
I don't know, dude.
No
Depends.
shit.
Some spinach, maybe. No,
Yeah.
but like on a genetic
well,
level.
if we're 70% water and iceberg lettuce is 70% water, then
Dude, we're
basically the
closer
same.
related to a banana
lettuce.
than fucking like a bunch of other animals on this planet.
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, can you give me some of these books you're reading, man?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will, dude. I have a bookshelf at home. Dude, I read
I've-
books. That's the fuck thing.
This is a Show Me Yours
I'm
exclusive.
very
This
good at being pretty good at just about everything.
Mainly children's books.
One fish,
Just-
two fish,
Just speak to my peers.
red fish, blue fish, knick-knack, paddywhack, get a dog a bone. We'll get back into that. That was pretty
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I think we have time for one more question.
Okay.
So the last song in this album, "The End," is used on Apocalypse
cool. It was
Now.
good.
That's
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, it's a
yeah.
fucking crazy
That's
song.
what we know it from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I think that's where most people know this
Right.
the song from. Yeah, it's a fucking wild song. But Apocalypse Now, obviously, it's notorious for like the lore of the making of the film and how
For sure.
Martin Sheen kind of like lost his mind filming it.
I think if
Because
you're gonna watch
he
well,
was-
if you're gonna watch that thing like The Heart of Darkness,
Well, yeah,
there's
he had a heart attack.
the documentary on the making of Apocalypse Now, if you're a fan of the film, is just as, if not more, fascinating as the film itself.
I'd say
Yeah.
watch the film and then the documentary.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
like,
100%.
Yeah, if you
100%.
haven't seen
If you haven't seen the
Apocalypse
film,
Now at this
watch
point,
the film and then
Yeah,
the
do
documentary
yourself
as
a
well.
favor and watch classic cinema.
yeah, and
Citizen Kane, watch that as well.
yeah, yeah, just review all the classics.
Don't be a menace to
All
South
about
Central while
Eve.
drinking your
All
juice in
about
the
Eve.
hood.
Yeah. But and so yeah, it's
How high was
notorious
methamphetamine?
for how he kind of like went crazy. Yeah, he had a heart attack, but he was also using like incredible amounts of alcohol and drugs and sort of lost his mind. But it's also one of like
Martin Sheen's character in the film.
Martin
Martin
Sheen.
Sheen.
Oh, sorry.
Sheen.
Martin Sheen.
Oh, during
while he
Oh,
was
while
filming.
he was shooting, he was
Woo.
fucked.
Yeah. But it was also one of like the most like brilliant performances because he got so into
But
the
fucking
role and
Coppola
like
was just the
Dude,
fuck-
that
Well, yeah,
fucking
yeah,
but his
but,
1,000-yard stare, like in the
dude,
fucking
it's
Yeah.
insane.
Unreal.
yeah, and Coppola kind of like instigated all of this, but like
good on him. Good
But
on him.
yeah, and at the same time, Jim Morrison, if you look at like live performances, like he is so zonked out. He is in another realm. Like he is, yeah, and he's just like like the end of the end when he does this whole like monologue and shit. That just like he just did it on stage one day, and then it became part of the song. And so he was like so fucking high performing on stage, just in this like another universe. And it's like so obviously it's not like healthy, but like when people kind of get so into like the art form and just kind of sacrifice themselves for it and then deliver these like brilliant performances that are kind of like disturbing because you know that they're like not there anymore, but like it's also like produces like incredible art. And I don't know, like, what do you think there's like anything to like artists kind of like going insane like for their art and like sacrificing?
I love the idea. Like if you, and it's like it's a weird question, but like if you were put on this planet to make art and you don't want to do it for the fame and the celebrity and all that kind of stuff, but if you were actually put on this, if you feel in your inner being that you were put on this planet to make art, that's insane in itself.
Yeah.
So you already got your toes in the water, dive right in. That's what I say.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine the art form that I'm in with stand-up and with acting of doing acid or doing shrooms or doing DMT, ayahuasca, anything, and then going on stage. It's not the right art form.
Yeah.
Someone like Jim Morrison, that
you
you're
can
in
perform,
this, that you're, it's almost like it's going to sound cheesy, but like music's way more spiritual than comedy.
Oh,
100%. Of course.
But like,
comedy's about the surprise. If you know the punchline, then the magic is gone.
Exactly. But like if you're in this hour and a half experience with this man that has lived this life, that's telling you this, this, you know, preaching almost. Like,
yeah, but in an esoteric way, right? And I think that's a beautiful thing about music is it combines poetry and sound. Is that you're sitting here and like you get it, but you don't need to know explicitly what they're saying, and like they could say something kind of vague and it'll still speak to you in a way that like the hair on your arm will stand up. Yeah. And I mean that's why I go back to music, and I love comedy, and I will go back through every fucking special and like study.
But when you're sad, Jonny, what do you listen to? Do you listen to comedy or to music?
Music. And like I don't want to watch someone 100%. Doing a set when they're fucking high on acid. I would like I watch fucking performances. Yeah. But for the most part, it's like this isn't the right art form to be delivering.
But then, as a person like Jim Morrison that was put on this planet to give this art and to preach this message,
and you can just sacrifice like your whole. You don't have to be there in the moment. When you're doing comedy, you kind of have to be in the moment because you wanna play with the crowd. You wanna react to what is happening in the moment, and you want to be real and relatable. But if you're an artist performing on stage as a musician, you don't have to be in the moment.
Yeah, no one's got Chris Rock's album on when they're tripping on shrooms.
Exactly. You can get like lost in the music and lost in like this thing that you're creating. You can't lose yourself when you're doing comedy.
Totally, right? But that being said, like to be a voice of reason or contrarian here in the sense that like it doesn't need to be done. I think when it's done really well, you get the doors, right? But I think a lot of people have tried to emulate that and have just shit all over somebody's nice night out when you're just trying to go and explore something. You're trying, we're going to go check out this open band and shit. And like these like four fucking, dorks from that just got out of high school or going into college are going to drop acid and try to play a set or whatever. And it's not there, right? So when it's done authentically, then totally. But
I mean, not everyone is Jim Morrison.
Like, that's what I'm saying about do drugs if it's right for you.
Totally, right?
Like Jim Morrison was just perfect for what he was doing at the time in history.
Yeah. Because you're gonna find like the different. R.A. the Rugged Man is one of the most like fucked up lyricists and technically gifted like rappers in the past like 2 decades at least. And that guy's never smoked a cigarette, drank or anything like that. You listen to his music and you're like, oh, this guy's on some shit. But if you really listen to the technicality and the way that he's rapping, you can't get that many syllables and you can't flow like that or whatever if you're fucked up, right? There's no way you can do it. Toby Morse.
Cancel me for saying this, but Chris D'Elia, as a stand-up comic, never did drugs, never did alcohol.
Fair enough.
And like you watch his stand-up and you're just like,
it's not funny.
I've never watched a special. I'm not going to say
a single word for the rest of this episode.
I've never watched. I don't have a horse in the race, so I don't give a shit. But I love how that happened. But the main artist that I do want to bring up is Ian MacKaye from Fugazi and Minor Threat. With this particular artist, such a body of work that's incredible, such a genre-defining sound that it changed everything. The reason that kids paint black X's on their hands or whatever is a straight edge movement that this guy came out of, because when, I mean, after Jim Morrison and after every musician is on dope and fucked up or whatever, then you have different bands coming through going, hey, no, we can do this from a different sense. So a lot of the stuff that's like straightforward, New York City hardcore, H2O, you know what I mean? Fucking anything basically Bad Brains influenced or whatever. Like if we're going to talk about like that kind of like early 80s hardcore stuff, came out from a very specific place that, no, you don't have to be fucked up or whatever, and you can still do it. And there's a lot of artists that do that. But there is something special to be said about the ones that are like the space cases. I think they're fewer and far between.
Totally.
But when they do hit, it's something groundbreaking. It's something that, you know, that you can really sit with, right? Like, I don't know, like Aesop Rock comes to my head. Like, that guy's so fucked up that like I can't imagine him doing drugs and keeping account of all the lyrics. It's so abstract, the stuff that he talks about or whatever, right? But it wouldn't surprise me if, you know what I mean, the inspiration for a lot of that stuff came from drugs. So it's fucked up to think. I mean, I can't, but I do.
You have to kind of, I don't know. You have to, you know, it's the Jim Morrisons and the Janis Joplins and the Jimi Hendrixes, Bob Dylans, whatever, where you can do that stuff and you use.
But even in sports too, Dustin Dollin has been skateboarding for 20 years, and booze seems to fool this fucking guy. You know what I mean, right? So like, there's some. I think it's a personal, it's an individual or whatever.
But that's what I mean.
That can be fueled by this shit and continue to be creative.
Well, and if you let, I think. Not everyone, but I think like a lot of people are capable of it, but it's a matter of opening yourself up to letting yourself go when you're under the influence of these drugs or whatever. Not to just like get fucked up, but to like access like a different realm, a different like level of thinking.
Oh, Jackie, have you ever freestyle rapped before?
No.
Dude, there's a wall. There's like a wall there because you're embarrassed, because it's kind of weird, right? Like if you're in a safe place with people that are good at it, but if you're in a place where people are good at it and you're okay at it too, right? Like friends of mine are like, no, Jonny, you got to come and rhyme with us tonight because like we want to hear what you have to say, and that's pretty cool. So when you can kind of get over that, like the embarrassment or like the weird feeling about it, or you're in a room with people that you don't necessarily know, so you might be a little bit more subdued and you might want to say everything that you can do, but as soon as you like understand the formula, and as soon as you understand what's going on, and as soon as you can break through like that kind of wall of embarrassment or like that wall of new world. Anxiety, then
it's just getting
like the creativity that can be is like it's honestly it's like a fucking floodgate that'll
well
open,
and what that is just it's breaking through the ego and letting the ego go and being free of that. Once you can get past your ego and you don't identify with yourself anymore, then it's just like fucking when then like everything starts coming and you can like access like really exactly when you're not worried about yourself anymore.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking this fat chick once, right?
Good boy, Jonny. Good boy.
No, that was like the most poignant thing that we've ever said on this podcast in my head.
I loved it. I was just sitting here listening to it. It was amazing. This is what we do. I talk about this when I listen to you guys' solo episodes. I'm always just like, I just want to shoot the shit with you guys, and it's weird to listen to your podcast without being able to be on it. I'm like, I just like listening to you guys and like chiming in every now and then.
Shout out to Gerard. He said that he's like the best thing about this podcast is that like it's like hanging out with you guys without the need to feel that you have to jump in.
So many different people say that to me.
It's great. Your guys' podcast is amazing.
Oh man,
I love it.
Dude, you know what? You're amazing. Like, you're such a good. Thanks for coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, there's no one else.
Access granted podcast.
Yeah. We'll leave it on for now.
You can't bleep out Jonny saying.
I love you, buddy.
And there's no one else because you were just like here when we were gonna start recording. There's no one else that we would have just let come on.
That's true.
The podcast.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're fucking up our algorithm of like a guest solo.
Just cut me out of
we
the
just
cover art.
Won't put your name in. Yeah, exactly. We won't put your name in the title.
Don't put me in the title or in the cover art, and then just like people will be like, oh fuck, there's a third.
Yeah.
Done, dude. If that's how you want to get it, like we were gonna shoot promo.
Take photos of both of you and just be like solo episode.
Dude, you can take the pic.
I'll take the pic. Yeah. No one will know. Oh, but then also we have to take a photo of the porn.
Oh, well, of course we're gonna do that as well. But also, Jackie has to get to her show.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's shower up.
Let's go support. Let's be buds supporting buds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's another PSA of the podcast.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Do we listen to another song or no?
You can fucking do whatever you want.
Okay. Ciao.